Good afternoon, YouTube. So I thought I would just make my lunch and talk a little bit with you and talk about what's on my mind, what I'm about to eat, and what this little concoction is. So I have a Ninja, what's it called? Ninja coffee thing. And normally I don't put milk. Normally I put a little bit of milk in like my afternoon cappuccino. But I'm out of it. So I tried something. It kind of worked, I think. I haven't tried it yet, but I took just a chocolate isolate and put it in the Wizard doohickey to froth some milk. And then, so it's kind of like sweetened with chocolate. So it's like a chocolate cappuccino. That might be blasphemy to my Italian heritage, but. Oh, no, I just invented something. No. We're gonna figure out a name for this thing. In the meantime, chocolate cappuccino. Okay, in the meantime, we are making lunch. Or meal 3. So a little spritz just with my Kirkland spray, nothing fancy. Cover it. Oh, this is delightful. Yo. Chocolate mousse. I feel like it would work with any protein powder. I'm not partial to any one company. I have no sponsorships, whatever. No obligation to be pumping anyone in particular, but that works. That works. Okay. So I already pre-cooked some. I actually just did a mix of pork and beef, lean ground beef. So it's not as fatty as like a medium ground beef or anything. Tastes about the same to me. So we're just gonna plop that in the pan. Yes, I'm eyeballing, but I've been doing this for a very long time, so my balls can be trusted. All right, next up, doing the good old legume mix. It's just a mix of vegetables, nothing crazy. Who else hates corn? I hate corn. So what I typically do, because it's a mix, and I find that corn is really cheap, and so they usually pack these bags with corn, and that's really annoying. So I usually pick them out, give them to my dog. I have gone so far as to open up a bag of this and take it out, like take all the corn out. That's a waste of time. All right. So I am currently in about 12 weeks into my off season. It was ridiculous. 12 weeks into my off season, and 9 weeks post surgery. So surgery went amazing. I actually have my follow-up mañana to, it's funny because he said I should have taken 8 weeks off from work. I did not. I didn't because my job, as a personal trainer and as sort of like an assistant to someone, I'm not doing any heavy lifting, and I'm not, anyway, I felt really good at like the 3 week after post-surgery mark, and so I was pretty much at the gym at the 2.5, 3 week mark. I'm sure he probably won't love that, but I feel really, really good, and I will attribute that to being fit, or at least someone who has remained fit, meaning like, I'm not a marathon runner by any means, or a CrossFitter, or any sort of endurance athlete, but I am strong. And so having strong back muscles, all that, I think helped me with my recovery, and that I was able to do more. So we'll see if Dr. Adams is mad at me or not. But yeah, I'm feeling good. We just started to increase my food a little bit into this off season. And I think we're gonna add a second high carb day or 1 or 2 extra high carb days so that my body can get used to adding a little bit more food. This is probably the longest, not including COVID, the longest time that I have been in an off season. So it's been definitely over a year at this point. So, and I would say that my next intention of competing is probably not until the end of 2026. That is if the United States can get their shit together. And, or I go compete abroad, like in Europe. There are like maybe 2 or 3 shows. I think Portugal, Germany, and Romania, I think, have my category. So that might be an option, a good excuse to travel as well. And yeah, so I feel good, adding food, getting a little bit stronger. I still feel like I'm sort of holding back on some of my bigger lifts, right? Like legs especially. Because I'm still kind of guarded with my spine, but I'd say shoulders are getting a little bit stronger, chest is getting a little bit stronger, so still working, still natty. So we're just relying on food and a good attitude right now. Some bigger, cooler news. I am now training over at a gym in Riverview in New Brunswick. Really awesome gym. It's not got any of the like the crazy bells and whistles. Corn for the dog. But what I really like about it is that I used to own a gym back in Ontario many years ago, and we also didn't have a lot of the crazy bells and whistles, fancy machines that they have now. And you were very much forced to be creative as a personal trainer and, you know, adjust things, use bands, different angles, things like that to, you know, target different muscles. So it kind of takes me back a little bit. Don't get me wrong, this gym has everything you need. All the extra bells and whistles are like a luxury. So in terms of that, I've been enjoying myself, both training myself and taking clients out of there. So the community is really awesome. I would say it's a big mix of like older adults and, you know, like the teenagers who are just learning how to gym, which is awesome. Men and women alike. We've got myself as a pro, we've got a pro strongman there, and just people with a lot of experience. And it makes me happy to be around such a diverse group of people, and it's not a ton of people just taking selfies, and, you know, so like there's people who want to work. And it's a good atmosphere. The owner is awesome. He, not like a big bodybuilder himself, trains like one and loves to be in shape, but really it feels like his main focus for his gym is create a community that he loves and what brought him to the gym and what made him feel good, and he's only trying to just like spread that to everyone else, and he does a really good job. He's super friendly. You know, he's the type of guy who will, you know, run out of his office just to say goodbye when you're leaving the gym, to say hi when you're coming. And I mean, the staff are super easygoing and kind and supportive. So it feels much more like home when everyone can kind of get along. So it's been really cool to kind of transition to a much more laid back gym where you're not afraid to like mess things up a little bit. Carb. All right, so I've been enjoying this Ace Bakery. It is one of the few breads that have ingredients you can pronounce. I was watching a YouTube video on some of the breads here in Canada. I'm sure it's not any better in the United States, of just how much crap is in the food. And they're all made by the exact same company, essentially, like Walmart. Walmart has their brand, Sobeys has their brand, like Compliments, I think it's called. And Loblaws, of course. So the Weston family, Galen Weston, we don't like him or his family. And I think the new guy is like I don't know his name. His first name's like P-E-R. Anyway, all of their food, all their bread is processed in the same factory, and they all contain like different types of ingredients that just aren't good for you. Anyway, this company doesn't. I believe they're out of Ontario, but it's a proper sourdough. And I mean, if I'm not gonna make my own, I'm probably gonna go to a bakery from now on. I can't buy the type of bread that's like gummy in my mouth. And I know this is probably not news to anyone, and it's not to me, but I think watching that video, I was like, oh my God, appalled. So we're just gonna keep it simple with some sourdough. Toasty. Other than that, my life has been pretty calm, and I'm in control at the moment for whatever I can control in today's day and age. I still have all my remote online clients, and they're amazing, going strong there. And the new clients at the new gym, feeling really good. And yeah, we're just gonna keep trucking along with my own training. Weather is, some days feels like spring, some days it doesn't. Today feels like spring. So I took the dog for a nice walk. I'll probably start running soon. I'm feeling like I need to do something athletic, if anyone can relate. I'd like to feel like I can run, or yeah, mostly that I can run. So I bought a new pair of running shoes, and so I'm gonna break those in one of these days when it's not so wet outside. And the girl's gonna start running outside, I think. I'd like to be able to join like a, ouch, see, corn. Oop. I'd like to join like a running club here, even if it's like 5 or 7K, you know, every week or something like that. So I'm gonna look into that. I know there is one. Maybe I'll start my own. Maybe I'll start my own running club. But, all right, so food is almost done. Pretty basic. Omitted some corn. If you have a milk frother, throw in marbles. Blech. Milk frother, throw in some protein powder to froth up your coffee. Okay, go to mustard à la épicée, sucré et épicé, sweet and spicy. Corn for the dog. We're gonna turn that off. See, it's just a mix. Nothing crazy. Appetite is coming back a little bit more as I begin training more frequently and harder. So I'm actually starting to enjoy my foods again. We have a nice little piece of this. So thanks for watching a quick, 15 minutes of what the heck's going on, and I'm gonna enjoy this, and I'll see you in the next one.